The transfer portal doesn't officially open till the new year, but just today alone, 4 starting quarterbacks have entered the portal. Here's the one Miami should pursue.
You are Locked On Canes, your daily podcast on the Miami Hurricanes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
When Mario Cristobal was asked about this ridiculous college football calendar, Miami's preparing for a playoff game, in case you haven't noticed, hopefully multiple playoff games. And then you've got the portal opening up on January 2nd. Cristobal said, you cancel Christmas and you deal with it. Now, I think Mario enjoys the work more than a lot of other coaches do out there when it comes to portal and recruiting, but it's nuts. I am Alex Donno, University of Miami alumnus, co-host of Locked On ACC and host of Postgame on the Hurricanes Radio Network. And thank you to the everydayers for making Locked On Canes your first or your second listen. We're available wherever you get your podcasts. We're on YouTube. We're part of the now #1 Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. All right, we're going to talk on this episode about who Miami should pursue out of the 4 quarterbacks that became available just today. And that doesn't include my guy Sam Levitt, who has already been widely reported to be in the portal. There are 4 more. And to help break them down, we call upon the portal overlord. He's the host of the Portal podcast here on the Locked On Network and a very good friend of the show, Brian Smith. All right, so Brian, I want to start with you. So the 4 quarterbacks just today. DJ Lagway of Florida. I know Miami fans have strong opinions about him. Dylan Raiola from Nebraska is hitting the portal today. Brendan Sorsby from Cincinnati and Aiden Chiles from Michigan State. I guess technically no longer a starter. He did get benched there, but a former starting quarterback. And I want to start with you on my personal favorite out of that group. I am a huge Brendan Sorsby fan. I mean, he's already a fully developed college quarterback. So this is a guy you bring in, can immediately raise your floor and your ceiling at quarterback. A dual threat guy, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, the Cincinnati QB. If you're Miami, what would you think about Brendan Sorsby? I would imagine that's a call that, whatever intermediaries, whoever you have to call, that's a call you've got to make.
He's an interesting quarterback because he's a veteran now. He's got another year of eligibility. He's been through the ringer, started at Indiana, moved to transfer over to Cincinnati. He's kind of worked his way up. He was just a guy. And then all of a sudden this year, he's like, holy cow. Not only was he a good passer, he was a good runner. Like, some guys develop that later on, and it's kind of weird because he was never thought to be like super mobile, but he burned a lot of teams this season. And to be honest with you, he's a guy that doesn't have a ton of talent around him. Not picking on Cincinnati, but they're just okay talent-wise. He magnified what they had. That's the sign of a true signal caller. So throwing to Malachi, having that running back room, having Lofton and those guys, it'd be a lot easier. So I'd imagine he'd be interested. I think it would be a pretty good fit, to be honest.
Yeah, so do I. I will say, shout out to the people out there who pay such close attention to players' social media and their girlfriends and stuff, because I don't pay attention to that stuff, but enough people that know me do pay attention to that stuff. So, shortly after Sorsby hit the portal, and I mentioned, hey, this is a guy that I really like from Miami, I got a bunch of replies, Brian, that allegedly, not allegedly, this is true. I did verify this. Brendan Sorsby's girlfriend just transferred to Texas Tech. And, I could understand why, after seeing her, why he might want to follow her somewhere. So, you follow the breadcrumbs. People are maybe assuming as Texas Tech is also going to be in the quarterback market, that Sorsby could end up being there. I think that's one of these trails we have to follow now.
If it's that easy, it's that easy. I mean, Cincinnati, if I remember right, they got plowed by Texas Tech this year, if I remember right. But
that's right. You can't beat them, join them, right?
So, especially if you got a hot girlfriend over there. So, fair enough. But Miami is an option, and there are plenty of girls in South Florida from my own personal experience. So, it's just throwing that out there.
That is also true.
To that end, I think you got to kick the tires on everybody, like even Aiden Chiles, etc. So This is kind of the starting point. And I would look at this as a 1-year deal. I think Miami needs a 1-year guy if they're going to do it because they got enough young players. This
Bingo.
needs to be the last year they do that. And even then, it's probably going to cost you somebody. It's just the way it works. But it is what it is. Miami's roster is good enough to be in the playoff again next year. So, of course, they're going to look at guys that are top end. They absolutely should.
Well, let me ask you this, because we've already spoken before about Sam Levitt, it was reported a couple weeks ago that he's hitting the portal, so that name has been out there. Who do you like better between Sorsby and Levitt? Also, keeping in mind, Levitt would miss spring football. He's recovering from the Liz Frank, so he wouldn't practice in the spring, whereas Sorsby fully healthy.
That's a really great question. The Liz Frank injury, for those that don't know, that's foot injury. And most often you have a second break with those. So there's been a few guys that I've known that have gone through it. You can get the surgery, takes a little longer, but it's less likely to cause problems. Some guys try to get back that year and they run the risk and then mid-October, you're done. So it happens. It depends on what route he went and where he's at with development, if I would consider Levitt. And I'm sure he is going to be poked and prodded ridiculously because he's a runner too, and he's probably got a lot of dings. The money that Sam's going to command, I'd imagine that's going to be very interesting. So you'd have to weigh that. If they were both healthy, I'd rather have Levitt, but
yeah, same.
I don't know. Liz Frank is a really awkward injury. I wouldn't be surprised if they went more for Sorsby because of that, but again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not the one that's sitting there trying to figure out what his health situation is. That's really hard to figure out. That could be very important for a lot of schools. Some people might be like, you know what, I'm not taking any risk. I don't know if Miami will be one, but that's part of this portal thing and all the injury. Injury matters.
Yeah, well, when we come back, speaking of injuries, I want to ask Brian about DJ Lagway, who's had a few injuries in his day, and about Dylan Raiola, who's also currently injured, but a very, very interesting human being, to say the least. You want to keep it locked right here. We're talking transfer portal with the host of the portal. I'm Alex Donno. He's Brian Smith on this brand new episode of Locked On Canes. Folks, the holiday season is officially here, which means it's gift hunting season. And if you want something meaningful, personal, and guaranteed to get a reaction, Aura Frames is the gift that delivers every time. Because it's not just something you wrap, it's a way to share memories. Because Aura isn't your average picture frame. You can preload the frame with photos before gifting it. So when they plug it in, the memories are already there. This is so awesome. No apps to figure out, no setup headaches, just instant smiles. Folks, this is the perfect gift for your spouse, for your parents, your grandparents, anyone who loves photos. Endless uploads of pictures and 30-second videos are available through the Aura app. Add a personalized message right inside the frame so the gift feels thoughtful the moment that it's opened. Packaging comes gift ready, no price tag, no wrapping needed. Huge win. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver mat frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, by using promo code COLLEGE at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code COLLEGE. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning Locked On Canes at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Oh, we are also proudly brought to you by FanDuel. My friends, NFL Sundays move fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place live bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Folks, live betting was made for moments like that Bills comeback against the Patriots. That's what live betting is for. It's best when that game starts to shift. A receiver gets hot, a quarterback gets hot, a defense tightens up. FanDuel lets you jump right into the moment. Live spreads and money lines adjust instantly. Player props update as guys heat up. You can bet things like next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and so much more. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. Thank you so much for making Locked On Canes your first listen. Thank you for making the Locked On Podcast Network #1. And if you're a true diehard Hurricanes fan, the Everydayer All Access tier is built for you. You'll get one-on-one text access with me, all access episodes, an exclusive newsletter, and a 15% discount on the Locked On's merch store. Head to lockedoncanes.supercast.com to join the Everydayer Club and unlock all access. You can also find the link in the show notes below. We're joined by the portal overlord and the recruiting overlord. Brian Smith is with us. All right, so Brian, when I saw when DJ Lagway hit the transfer portal today, and I understand, like, apparently he wanted to stay at Florida, but he had a meeting with Summerall and the new staff, and the meeting did not go well. He decided to hit the portal. I also see On3 Sports, is linking Miami as like one of the teams to watch there. I do not want, Brian, too erratic, too injury prone, in my opinion. I think the floor is way too low because, if I'm going to go the transfer route for a quarterback, I want someone whose floor is very high, and I don't think Lagway checks off. And it could be a really nice player somewhere. I just don't think he's right for Miami.
He needs to go somewhere, in my opinion, in sit a year, kind of like Dante Moore did at Oregon. I think that would be his best way to go. For the record, he's from Willis, Texas, just outside of Houston. Second place for him in his recruitment was USC. The other school that was mentioned a lot was Texas A&M. They both have quarterbacks coming back, so maybe he goes that route. Lane Kiffin, I could see it in some way, like Lane's the quarterback whisperer. But I agree. I don't think it's Miami. They probably want something that's a little more guaranteed if they're going to hit the portal. Well, we'll see. I'm going to throw out a name here off the record in just a second. After we get through a few more of these, I have one for Alex to surprise him with. South Florida guy could return home. We'll get into that in a second. But this is just a microcosm. And whether you like Lagway from Miami or not, how he does will impact a bunch of other guys in other schools. So I'm glad he at least got out there. I'd been told several weeks ago he was likely to enter the portal. Sounds like the meeting kind of solidified what he probably expected to do anyway. It is what it is. But there's still a lot of guys that Miami can look at that are probably better options because the health, as you noted.
All right, let me ask you about one more, and then I want you to surprise me with whatever you got for me. Mm-hmm. Dylan Raiola is an interesting one because, listen, there is no doubt the talent is there, but the young man comes off like a flake. Like how many different high schools he played at, how many different college programs he was committed to, before going to Nebraska. And it made so much sense at Nebraska. His dad played there. His uncle was on the staff, although his uncle recently got fired. So the Nebraska thing, it felt like a perfect fit for him, but Raiola's on the market again. There's also the weird Patrick Mahomes cosplay thing that he does, which is like, and you know what's funny about that, Brian? On3 Sports went out of their way to report that he is not being looked at by Texas Tech because I think everyone just assumed he wants to go where Mahomes played, but apparently Texas Tech is not in for Dylan Raiola. But there's no doubt the young man is talented, but I don't know. What's your opinion? Do you think it'd be worth it to go after a guy like that?
I think it's okay to inquire, but the same question I have is the same one that most people in the industry would have. How much influence would the people within his family have on that situation? And again, Miami, just to use it as the obvious, because we're on Locked On Canes, how many schools that are trying to make a title run want baggage next to the quarterback? The dad is a pain by all accounts, by everybody I've ever spoken to. I don't know him, but that's what I've been told several times. The uncle getting fired is probably not a good sign. We don't know what happened there, but that leaves question marks. And as you said, he committed to multiple schools. He went to multiple high schools. And it's just like, there's never anything positive at the end with any of this stuff. I doubt Miami kicks the tires more than a phone call to an agent or whatever, but anything's possible. And I wouldn't be surprised if this didn't go as their family thinks because of the baggage. I'm not saying Dylan can't throw it, all that. I mean, he can pass football. That's not in question. But quarterback is more about the overall. Like, say what you want about Carson Beck, how he left Georgia. There hadn't been any problems at Miami. He's just played football.
He's been a model citizen, actually.
Yeah, so that's a big deal. I don't think Cristobal's looking to go away from that model.
No,
He's a pretty conservative guy. So
no.
I doubt that it's the route they'll go. Sam Levitt still right now, that's the one I would look at first.
Same. All right. What did you want to throw at me?
There's a guy, let's test Alex Donno's knowledge. There's a player in the SEC right now from the South Florida area that is at a school in the SEC where his coach recently left. Who am I referring to?
Is it Austin Simmons? I know he's from yeah, okay. I know he's from Florida somewhere.
He's from the Pahokee / South Florida area.
Okay. Yeah, I know. You know what? I would be interested.
He's great kid,
especially
too.
like you think Trinidad Chambliss is going to stay there?
He's trying to get another year because he played 3 years D2 ball at Ferris State in Michigan, then 1 at Ole Miss. So technically he's played 4.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen, but if he gets that, he's going to go to LSU, is what I've heard.
Right.
Simmons could stay, but Troy Weiss Jr. and Lane are now at LSU.
That's right.
So, I mean, I don't know if they want Austin. I would assume they would want him at LSU. I don't know how that's going to work, but Miami should at least make that phone call.
Yeah. I mean,
And
hell of an
Simmons-
arm. And he was a great pitcher as well in high school.
Oh, yeah. Like his dad and I talked about it one time. We both thought he should just go play baseball, but Austin wanted to play football. Like he's left-handed and throws 90-some mile an hour. That never goes out of style. Play baseball. But he wanted to play football. So anyway, that's one to watch because like he's got a little bit of experience. He's been tutelaged by Kiffin. Like him or not, he can coach quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah.
So I wouldn't be shocked if he's somebody that not just Miami, but a lot of people made some overtures with because he has all the talent in the world.
Like it. All right, we could add to our wish list. We can add Austin Simmons to that. We'll see. It would not surprise me if he hit the portal. And by the way, we see all these guys on December 15th announcing their intentions to hit the portal. We've got more than 2 weeks before the portal officially opens. So
welcome.
It's going to get crazier, folks. And that's why you want to check out the Portal podcast hosted by Brian Smith. Are you just doing like 5 episodes a day these days? What have you been up to?
Well, I was actually thinking about that today, whether I should just start doing individual profiles. Cause like, there's no way I can keep up post every time I come back. It's not. So I'm going to do some obvious and not so obvious stuff and just put it up whenever it goes up. Cause like it's impossible. I was doing a podcast today and something happened during it's impossible. Yeah. So you're right. It's going to get crazier. Once we get about another week into this, there might be 10 or more starting quarterbacks that have hit the portal. Would not surprise me. So we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, because I mean, we think about Simmons and Chambliss at Ole Miss. They're probably not going to announce anything till they're knocked out of the playoff, which is probably not going to be until at least the second round because I don't think they're losing to Tulane. So it's going to be a while.
Yeah, Tulane is not winning that game.
No.
So yeah, it's probably going to be a few more that come out. I have some ideas. We'll see. There's always backup quarterbacks, et cetera, that could possibly end up in the portal that Miami went after at one point. They didn't make it. Maybe it goes that route. You got Oregon's got backup quarterbacks. There's all kinds of stuff that can happen. So Miami is most likely going to have a portal quarterback in 2026.
Well, we appreciate the time as always from Brian Smith. Make sure you check out the Portal pod. If you want some good comedy, also check out Locked On Seminoles. I know that.
Wait till you see tomorrow's podcast.
Oh, I can't wait. Check them out on X at FBScout_Florida. And thank you all so much. And make sure, folks, if you haven't tried the all access tier of the Everydayer Club, you can click the link in the show notes below and check it out. I do an exclusive episode there every day called the Canes Colada. Right when I wake up and I'm sipping my coffee, we talk about what I'm thinking about for that day. We send out a newsletter. So make sure you check it out. We'll talk to you next time on another episode of Locked On Canes. We are part of the awesome #1 Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.